What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we have Assault Rumble here today. So a lot of stuff happening. You had part 3 of the sugo-fest, we have Assault Rumble, we've got Pirate King Adventures. There's just a ton of stuff that dropped tonight. So we're going to be making a video obviously looking at the Assault Rumble stuff. So I have made it to level max Assault level. I haven't tested these teams against the max level Assault, so we'll see how the team is going to be doing in terms of the defensive side of things, because the first like 9 levels, it's just clearing the enemies as fast as you can, and then when you get to the assault level, you need a team that can do damage, but you also need a team that can stay alive for a very long period of time. So that's our goal here today. Hopefully we can show off what I'm doing, and yeah, let's just jump into it. So we have the first fight here, which is against Shanks. You can see that it is a quick focused fight. Now there's a couple of things you need to keep in mind before you actually go and build your team. First of which, you have the rule set. So against the Shanks boss, it mentions here that you have that he takes more damage from Dex, he takes more damage from Powerhouse, he takes less damage from Strength, but then you have the overall ones here where it says all bosses will go ahead and take more damage from Navy, more damage from World Government. So very important that you focus around these rule sets. Obviously you have the trusty characters, don't worry about that, but building around that. But then also, if you actually go over to one of the characters that you're about to fight, if you have a look at their rumble ability, you can see that specifically for this batch, they all do debuffing effects to free spirit class. So you can see he gives like free spirit characters attack down level 7. You have Yasop. He also gives buffs to free spirit. That like all these all of the redhead pirates debuff free spirit focused characters. So you ideally don't want to go ahead and build a free spirit team against this, but you want to try and build with Dex or try and build with Powerhouse, and don't build with Strength. That's essentially what you're trying to do here. So this is my current team that I'm going for. Now I'm just trying to build more focused on like the world government side of things. I was initially like wanting to build with Peter on the team, and I had characters like Ace, but then I realized that Ace is actually free spirit. You could use just like mono Powerhouse building characters like Kaido, Dex Big Mom would work really well, potentially Blackbeard, but he's not that great because the enemies like negate health cuts a lot in Assault Rumble. So this is what I'm going for here. So we've got Peter, we've got Kizaru, which can go ahead and charge the specials of our world government characters. We have Lucci, who's also world government. I am going to try Urban, the new rare recruit from this batch, and see how he kind of performs. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and hopefully we get some good stuff. Let's see what the team is capable of doing. I did sit through a little bit of the earlier levels just to see like what the team was actually doing, and I did notice that Shanks does have a special, or one of the redhead pirates has a special that can severely action bind one of our characters. I do see that it always typically was actually hitting Peter, so I'm not too sure if there's a specific reason why that is. Maybe it's like a high HP enemy or something like that. That would make a little bit of sense. I'm pretty sure that Urban does have a special that can reduce the amount of action bind on a character, which I guess that doesn't really help us here, but Urban doing pretty good stuff. He actually hasted that guy to the top of the order. Yo, that's actually sick though. Yo, hold up. You get that severe delay, all that delay stuff on the enemies. Okay, so the enemies negate action bind, which is kind of annoying, but this should be okay. You get Kizaru here, which gives some cooldown to our world government characters. Unfortunately, Lucci didn't get a chance to launch before that actually occurred. So we do have to wait a couple more seconds for Peter to come back from his force out. Lucci should be able to do pretty good damage here. Lucci's just a really good character in Assault Rumble. Like, look at that damage, especially because there's 4 enemies here. You get a lot of opportunity to do some crazy damage here. And then all of these buffs and debuffs are coming back because Peter now has a chance to use his Rumble ability again. I am a little concerned though because we don't have a lot of defenses, but if we look at the opponent's side of the field, they don't really have a lot of stats either. Like, even their attack value is really low. So despite the fact that our defenses are low, it's not that bad if the enemy doesn't really do that much damage to you. So I think that should be okay. We're looking pretty good right now. Like, we're doing good damage. Kizaru launching would be really good for us. Okay, this is going to haste him, but unfortunately... Does he haste? Okay, he does haste. Oh, and he does make him ready as well. Oh, damn. Okay, getting him to launch again is so clutch. Okay, so we're going to reverse their CTs again. He's going to force himself out, but he does give himself more special CT. He does go ahead and reduce the enemy's CT, which is really nice. Kizaru is going to launch, which will give back Urban's special, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, I don't have the Dex Garp that came out with Figureland Garling, because he would be really nice to have on this team, I think. Just you'd have like a full world government team. And here we go with Peter coming back already, which is great. Things are looking pretty good right now. Lucci should get some good damage from him. Very good, very good. And then Peter's almost ready to go again. That's like kind of crazy though. What the hell? And then Kaido's gonna launch. Kaido do pretty good damage. Very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm a little worried though because our defenses are getting very low, and you see Peter's almost dead. Well, this could be really bad. Okay, Peter is down, so we may have to change things up in terms of how the bulk is for this team. But the team is performing like decently well, all things considered. And we have Pell here. Pell's pretty good off the bench. He should do some good damage. We just want to stay alive here. We don't really want to lose too much HP from this point onwards. Okay, so now that Peter isn't on the team, is he going to actually do anything? Okay, so he still does pretty good damage, honestly. Lucci's going to be good too. Kaido, unfortunately, won't get a chance to launch. Pell should be able to launch. Nice. Okay, this will actually be a solid little bit of additional chip damage too. Okay, 4 hits of damage, which is good. And Kizaru actually is going to get one more chance to do some damage as well, which is kind of nice. Just a nice little chunk of damage right there. All right, so I think we're over 900k. Oh, no, we're nearly 900k. That's actually pretty freaking good. Like, that score is not bad for a first attempt at Assault level max. Unfortunately, we had him die, which was a bit of a shame. 17 mil? God damn. I mean, having those boosters definitely makes a big deal. God damn, dude, that's insane. All right, cool. All right, so we did that. That's dope. We have the secondary matchup now, which is going to be versus the Akainu. So once again, we'll go over the rule sets real quick. So for the Akainu boss fight, he takes more damage from Sai and slashes and less damage from strength, dex, and quick. So quite obviously, you want to build a slasher team or a Sai team. That's what you should go for. Navy World Government will go ahead and do more damage too. But the other additional layer that you want to team build with, you can see that these characters will debuff shooter characters. So you want to build like Sai or slasher focused, but be careful not to add shooters to your team, because if you do, they're going to be debuffed pretty heavily, so do keep that in mind. So this is the squad that we're going to test out today. We have Nushjuro. Nushjuro does insane damage. He just hits incredibly hard, so we want to try and support that as much as we can. If I had access to the slasher Nami that came out during the 11th anniversary, I would love to add her to the team. She's an exceptional character that works really well alongside Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, would work really well with Nushjuro. But this is what we're going to try here. We have Wano Law 6+ for the CT increase. Can also debuff the driven powerhouse focus stuff, which in this case is really only Fuji on the opponent side of the team. We are all using we're going to use Hound as well, because he can give some supplemental stuff to Nushjuro, so we'll see how that kind of plays out. I'm not too sure if it's going to be a nice addition to the team, but he is slasher, so he does actually work with the squad. In my first run of this, I did actually use Rebecca and Toy Soldier as the final character on the front line instead of Hound, and I kind of realized, wait, that character is a shooter, that is not going to work. So after my like level 2 chance at that, I'm like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and switch that up to a different character, and Hound came to mind. We'll go ahead and use him, see how he kind of performs. We'll see what happens, right? But the whole goal here, we just want Nushjuro to launch as much as he possibly can, because that dude hits like a freaking truck. Speaking of hitting like a truck, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji can definitely do some good damage, which is nice. We have Hound coming in, does damage, defense, attack, and then defense down, which will make Nushjuro hit even harder. Unfortunately, we do have to wait a little bit longer for that to happen. I do like 10th anniversary Shanks though, because he's going to be a nice addition to the team, just to add a little bit of defensive layer, which can give everyone the shield, which is really nice, and he does a really good solo hit of damage too. Like, you can't really complain about that, right? A little bit of fixed damage, but that's okay. And then let's see how much damage Nushjuro can do. Let's see here. So he does a health cut, 3k, 4 times, and then 1.3 through defense. Like, they're already broken. Like, that's so good. Like, Nushjuro is he just hits like a truck. But that's the important thing. We just need him to go as much as we possibly can. And if we get him to launch, you know, a few times in this little event here, then yeah, we're going to be in pretty good stead. So here we go, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji again. As I said, you know, if we had that Nami that came out during the 11th anniversary, I do think she'd be so good, just to stop the enemies from launching their specials so we can survive a little bit longer. We see Nushjuro is already at half HP. That is concerning. We do have Shanks coming up sometime soon. What are the specials looking like? Okay, Kizaru is ready, but he's not ready to go quite yet. Hopefully we can get Shanks to launch before Kizaru. We do. That's fantastic. And actually, Shanks is going to charge Nushjuro's special, so he's going to get ready to go. That's fantastic. This is really, really good. Okay, 30 seconds left, so we get a bit more power here. Let's see. Damage, 4x, and then the damage through defense is quite nice. I mean, I don't think... Are we going to get similar damage to the first team? I don't think we will. I think we're gonna fall short in terms of damage, and this team is not as bulky, which is also concerning. Luffy's or Sanji ready to go. Where are they? Okay, they're coming up. Okay, we got Kizaru and Akainu are ready to launch. So Akainu is gonna go ahead and launch, and so is Kizaru. Okay. And can we at least just survive a little bit? We do. That's good. That shield is really nice here. We do see Hound is knocked out now. Luffy's or Sanji. Pretty solid damage. Smoothie's going to come in. Smoothie's not going to do a hell of a lot, but hey, we'll see what happens. 8 seconds left. We just need to survive at this point. So he does a significant health cut. Nusjoro, please. Oh my god, Nusjoro, please launch your special, please. There's literally 3 seconds left. Yes, there we go. Okay. Nice little bit of damage to finish this run off with. Very nice. Very, very nice. Unfortunately, we got 2 KOs on our side of the field here, which is not what you want to see. So we do lose quite a lot of points because of those knockouts. So we may have to alter the team a little bit, but all things considered, we're ranking quite high right now. 16 million is pretty good considering our first run of the other team was a 17 million. So looking pretty good right now. Looking pretty good. All right, so we're going to move on to our final team, which is going to be against the Whitebeard fight. So once again, we'll go over to the rule set to see what's going on. So for the Whitebeard boss, he takes more damage from Int and Striker, less damage from Strength, Dex, and Quick. And the additional layer of team building you need to keep in mind is these characters debuff fighter characters. So you ideally do not want to run fighter characters versus this fight. So this is the team that we have at this point in time. I'm not 100% sure again whether or not I'm going to be sticking with this one moving forward, but I wanted to trial it out. I actually pulled Alpha from the discount multi that happened recently with the Pirate Rumble banner, the one where Jinbei debuted. I was lucky enough to get Alpha, which is a great addition to the team. Unfortunately, I don't have Figureland Garling. If you had Figureland Garling, dude, that combo of Alpha, Garling, and Saturn, whew, dude, I'm telling you, that Garling is a menace in Pirate Rumble, especially when you partner that character alongside Alpha. You're just charging his special so fast. He does so much single target damage. It's absurd. Like legit, it's kind of crazy how much damage he does. I can't even begin to imagine the damage that he'd be doing in Assault Rumble with all of these additional modifiers. Like he'd just be hitting like a truck. But remember, in the Whitebeard fight, that characters that are Int do more damage, characters that are Striker do more damage. So we're kind of focusing around that team build, you know? We'll see how things go moving forward, but I might put Rogue on the front line. I think Rogue might be a good addition. And considering, like, essentially Alpha is really only going to be getting major benefits to Saturn, I think potentially putting Rogue on the front line might be a legitimately better option. We'll see. But I do think that Alpha, if you have Garling, might be a better frontline unit. We'll see, though. We'll see. Still, one thing to note is to make sure that you are looking at like the enemy resistances as well. I'm pretty sure half stats is still occurring here. Yeah, okay. I was wondering about that, whether some characters in Assault Rumble were actually going to negate the abilities of half stats. Like, that would be pretty brutal if that was the case. Like, you want to try and debuff them in some case, so luckily that's still possible. I was also considering putting the Sword unit, the Kujaku, Hibari, and Groose character on the team because they're also Int and Striker, but they also have the ability to confuse the enemy, which is not too bad. Which is, you know, you could potentially put, like, the waifus that I have on the bench. They could be a decent frontline unit as well if you can build a team around them. So we got Ace reversing specials, which is never a good thing to see. S-Hawk is ready to go again. Okay, he's going to provoke, fix damage. We're losing a lot of HP here. There's still 30 seconds left. We're doing okay. They're all in break status right now. So here this is where we can start to ramp damage, okay? If Roger Rayleigh Gaban, are they that 40% threshold? Are they at it? No, they're just shy. Oh my god. Because remember, if they're below 40%, they do like another hit of damage after their fixed damage, which is really, really clutch. Yamato launching, halving his stats, decent damage. Saturn would be nice to use here, really because of the special bind, but he's not going to be able to do it. S-Hawk is ready to go again. Oh my god, dude. S-Hawk is just carrying right now. He just keeps launching that special, which we love to see. So we did get a knockout on Yamato, which is a bit of a shame, but at least we replace it with a pretty good unit with the waifus. Here we go with Alpha. It does reduce their special CT. She does provide some pretty decent buff. Look at that special CT though. God damn, dude. Saturn's still really good. Roger Gaban unfortunately couldn't get a chance to launch again. So this one was definitely not as strong. We only did 427k in terms of damage for this one. How much did we get total? Yeah, 8.9. Yeah, because we did get a knockout as well. We didn't do as much damage. So this team definitely needs a little bit of tweaking. If you had Garling on this team, I couldn't even begin to imagine some of the numbers you'd be able to reach. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone so far for this Assault Rumble season. So we'll see how things go. 42 million overall. That's kind of crazy. I think that might be the highest score I've ever achieved on Assault Rumble thus far. But remember that this is just a game mode you can play. At the end of the day, like, you shouldn't be too concerned like where you rank that much. Obviously, you can spend rainbow gems to refill your stamina to continually play this, but it gets to a point where it's not really worth it. Look, at the end of the day, you should really only be going hard on Assault Rumble if you pull the boosted units. If you don't pull them, then hey, you can just do this every single day, and at the end of the event period, you'll just get rewards for playing it. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get a high score or anything. You know, you just play it, get some free rewards. It is what it is. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.